thank Joe for always inviting me up here. Joe Cavitat, who, by the way, uttered the question to me not 3 days ago, something I never thought I'd hear in my lifetime, and I quote, "What, you've never played ball tickle chicken?" No, Joe. No, I haven't. And I couldn't really handle it, but there was one person who was there with us who I don't think even understood really the concept of chicken itself. And so that person was like, "Well, how do you win?" And I was like, "Dude, there's no winning in that game." None. All right, well, I was looking in the mirror recently and I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of up and down with this beard, but one thing that I do like about it is that it hides the fact that my face isn't really that chiseled, you know? That's the goal for guys, right, to be chiseled. Like, I'm not that chiseled. I can't say that I'm chiseled. I think it's more like, well, my sister, my little sister, when we were younger, she had this toy, this like jewelry rock tumbler that like you put a bunch of rocks into a wheelbarrow thing and it rotates really slowly and the rocks like brush against the sides and become like smoother until they become gems. I think that's what I'm doing. Alright? I'm not really chiseled, I'm more tumbled, you know, I'm just slowly rotating my way through life. Occasionally brushing up against something to smooth out my edges. You like the 360 turn? All right, thank you. Prop 8 was mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, it looks like there's been a stay on the overturn so that gay marriage won't be able to take place until at least December. So, you know, mark your calendars, everybody. The gay apocalypse is coming this December. Everything will be destroyed. For one thing, I don't understand why these fundies want to tell me when I can and can't have a gay apocalypse, okay? Who are they? Who are these Bible thumpers to tell me when I can't see the world destroyed by tastefully arranged hellfire and lightning? As far as I'm concerned anyway, gay people should have the same opportunities to destroy civilization that straight people have had for thousands and thousands of years. That's all I'm saying. And let me tell you something else. I don't think it's un-American to be anti-gay, because you know who didn't hate gays? The Founding Fathers. There's no way that they hated them, and I'll tell you why. Because if Ben Franklin hadn't had sex with a dude, he was getting there. Right? He must have stopped himself at one point and asked himself, what haven't I had sex with? Except he probably said it in like a really old Englishy kind of way. I have lain in the bosom of all manner of strumpets. Bear witness to pubic hair of countless hue. Suffered boundless venereal disease, all for the pleasure of fine women of the night. And that one chick had a penis, so why not? But speaking of people who don't like gays, have you guys heard about this recent rant by Dr. Laura Schlesinger? Have any of you heard about this? Her like N-word dropping for this caller? Basically, there's this conservative Orthodox Jewish doctor, who's not actually a doctor, on the radio, who, this poor woman called in asking advice because her white husband's family was making fun of her for being black, and that was like the only thing that was happening. And Schlesinger basically, and I'm paraphrasing, was like, what's wrong with that? You're black, it's funny, deal with it. And she started dropping the N-word at one point just because she wanted to suggest that she didn't think it was fair that she couldn't, and that they could. And I was just really shocked about this, and she eventually issued an apology saying, like many others, she has a lot of black friends. And I gotta say, nah, Dr. Laura, Leviticus 18:22 clearly states that we Jewish people are only allowed one black friend for posterity, okay? You know who you are. All right. Hey there! She was basically suggesting, she ended up telling this woman that if you're hypersensitive, that you shouldn't marry outside of your race. And I guess by the same token, you could say that if a caller calls in and you actually have no desire to help them, you shouldn't call yourself a doctor. But actually, I do think that Dr. Laura has a more heightened sense of racial comedy than most of us nowadays, and I think it's proven by this recent performance, which I'll read the transcript of, at the Apollo by Dr. Laura Schlesinger. And I quote, "Thank thank you. It's great to be here in Blackistan, I mean Harlem. So have you guys heard the one about how much you guys love chicken? No, it's true. You're crazy about it. I was dining with my 40 black friends at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Hello? And they all ordered chicken. How crazy is that? They were eating it like, nom, nom, nom. Boy, I love chicken. I also enjoy rapping and having bad credit. What, that's not funny? Oh, come on, there's one of you guys in the White House. What are you complaining about? And guess what? I hear he's a big fan of basketball. OMG, no way. Where's everybody going? Oh, please, you people are way too sensitive. Get over yourselves. No, don't bring Talib Kweli back on. I'm not finished. So who do you spend in prison? Oh, what, you're going to pull your piece on me? Bring it, bitch. I packs heat. My people took out Jesus. I bet I can handle a room full of it. It cuts off there. Anyway, I feel like I should go out on that. Anyway, yes. No, you get more of me. I've been single a while, and it's kind of hard, you know, walking around the city by yourself and seeing all these loving couples. But I think what you really have to remember is that, you know, what you're seeing around the city is true love. People just embracing and making each other laugh and just reveling in one another's happiness. And it just shows that there is so much true love in this world that must be destroyed. I feel like this is why people become supervillains, you know? Has anybody considered the possibility that Lex Luthor just needs a little bit of love? Ladies, just give him a chance. I mean, I know he's bald and he's too career-oriented, and he has an army of kryptonite-fueled death robots that can make a messy breakup really complicated. But he's got an incredible IQ, and he's got a stable job, so just look his way. But if he tries to make you wear a cape and wear your red underwear on the outside, make a break for it, because it might get weird. Wow, the Superman humor doesn't go over as well as the humor. Who knew? I was in a relationship back in college, and on our third date, which, you know, in college basically consists of heading back to the dorm room, I decided I was going to go under the shirt. And she was kind of surprised by this, and I was like, is that okay? And she was like, yeah. I was just a little surprised that it didn't happen sooner, and I was like, oh shit, did I mess up again? She was like, no. I just heard that you Jewish boys like to get there even faster. And I was like, did I miss a passage in the Torah somewhere? And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt take thine girlfriend Sarah on thy second date, and thou shalt bring her to thine home and cook for her and light scented candles, because the ladies are into that, as I created them in my infinite wisdom. And thou shalt lay her on thine bed, and thou shalt reach your hand very carefully under her top, go for the goodie bags, and I shall look down upon it from heaven, and I shall say, it is good. To wait until the third date is blasphemy in my holy name, now go forth and work that coochie. That was my bar mitzvah portion, by the way. I'm so happy I have a whole Jewish person in the audience this time. I moved to the city like about 2 years ago, and I feel like I'm becoming more independent from my parents, which it was a hard transition because I was one of those kids who was on a leash, you know? And I mean, it wasn't so bad, except that when they brought out the choke chain when I was really bad. I mean, that even didn't drive the point home. It was the electric fence that did that. Anyway, I do feel more independent. I'm living up in Harlem right now, and I get a lot of stupid questions from friends like, does anybody ever mess with you, or do you ever get shot at? First of all, if you're my friend on Facebook, let's say, you probably would know if I'd ever been shot at, because that is a day-to-day event that would not go unblogged about, you know? I would be right up there on my status next to, if Mikael was a Disney princess, he would be Belle, because he's classy. Finally, I don't get messed with up in Harlem because I have an entourage. But it's not like your typical entourage, uptown entourage. It's more like that entourage from TV, Sex and the City. I'm a Miranda. Here in the city, I see some really crazy things on the subway. Earlier this week, I saw a woman whose daughter gave a homeless man a piece of candy, take the candy back, be like, no, honey, that's not good for him. Like he was a hamster who the kid was trying to feed chocolate to or something. And it sends a very clear message to that kid, no, honey, only people with money are allowed to mistreat their bodies. I was shocked. I was like, what, did this woman, like, was she tired of taking candy from babies? Was she like, oh, I need something more challenging? But my favorite thing, I'm gonna close out on this. My favorite thing that I saw on the subway this week was a guy, a loud preacher guy, who got on and said to everyone, I have a message from God, a message from above that he wants you all to hear. And that message is, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries for the rest of your days. If you would like to put $25 into my pack, or more, please do so. And I was like, wow, he must have some serious licensing issues. Or an impending lawsuit. But I, for one, was inspired. And so I would like to present to you my gospel according to Disney, all right? Because the Lord says that you may count on your friends. But remember, you ain't never had a friend like me. All right? Life is a restaurant. I am your maitre d'. Just pray for what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend like me. I am on the job, you big nabob. But God said that there is a flood coming. But this is not a flood of wrath, but a flood of love. And he says that we will all be happier under the sea. Under the sea. My brothers, it's better. Down where it's wetter. Take it from me.